This will be the battle of offensive power. We have Rogue and CLOUD9, the top offenses in North America. Even last season, so formidable. And here they are, undefeated, going head-to-head week number 3.
Now, if we're going to pull stats from this season, I understand CLOUD9's only played 1 series. But things to note are that Gimmick is insane. You can just talk about Gimmick alone right now has the highest goal per game average. Now, I understand even out of 1 series, but you still got to note it, even if it was just the 1. But Rogue has the highest goals per game as a team. So this is essentially the strikers going against each other. Gimmick was, what, about 2/3 of his goals last week for his
and he
team.
was the golden striker last season.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's at least sticking with his guns.
Yes.
We know that that's what he's pretty good at. I think a lot of it's going to be on creativity and who's got the best defense at this point. Because if your defense falls apart on either of these teams, obviously you're going to have a tough time.
Yeah, and then obviously Torment. We talk about him all the time. He's just an amazing defender. So this, we saw the desk very one-sided in favor of CLOUD9. I tend to agree with them when you have somebody as good as Torment. And like we were talking about Gimmick, one of the most underrated players. He was the golden striker and tied for clutch playmaker with his teammate Squishy. Gimmick is nuts, and this CLOUD9 team offensively is so scary.
I mean, we've talked about how the higher mechanical skilled players have kind of become the playmakers as opposed to just the ones that are actually making the strikes. And that is proof. You know, Squishy has the #1 assist per game as of now. I get it with the 1 series before everyone goes nuts, but it's still something to note.
Well, we'll see how these offenses collide here in game #1. Gimmick gonna send that into the corner, cut off by Sizz. Insolence is there, he's gonna follow it up, gets a flick into the middle for Sizz, and Sizz misses his opportunity. Another center ball from Jacob. Good early pressure from Rogue. Now Gimmick trying to force that issue, didn't get much of a hit on it. Insolence is following this one up. And then a shot in, Squishy's gonna rotate back. Double commit there, so Rogue continuing to keep this pressure up.
The double commit you just mentioned is something we saw heavily out of them in Vegas. We did see a huge improvement on them when they moved into last week's games. But if it's something they fall into here and there, it's going to be a really big cripple for them.
So far, the Rogue side looking very good, keeping CLOUD9 on their toes. But now the counterattack on. Gimmick trying to hit that into the corner. Cut off by Sizz. Insolence misses his hit, but has another chance. Off to Jacob. Now Insolence is tapping it again, being disruptive, as Shogun was saying on the desk. Now a chance for Jacob. Does get that 50-50. Torment following it up into the corner. Insolence denies that pass. Now Squishy off the backboard. Sizz is there to deny it. Jacob with the touch. Tries to mess up Gimmick, but Gimmick still gets the touch. Now Sizz taking back control. Jacob pre-jumping. That does not work out for Rogue.
I do like how they slowed that down, though. Instead of just smacking it across, even with this kind of high speed and high pressure that CLOUD9 are able to turn it on, they still had it in them to slow it down and try and keep control.
And it seems like Rogue is continuing to keep control, just these small touches. Now counterattack, CLOUD9. Ball in from Torment. He was looking for that pass. No one there. Gimmick with a chance, and that's going to be the first goal of the game. Gimmick strikes.
The last series we saw, they had 6 out of 9 of the attempts they took in the box right here were goals last week. And already the first one that they attempt. How many shots they have so far? They only have 2. So they're looking to keep that up.
That's pretty darn good.
Yeah. I mean, they love to pull that defender out and just leave it wide open. They're able to keep the shots, get the mechanical passes, and just force the defense to make bad moves.
And look at who it was who made that pass. It was Squishy. So this Squishy Gimmick duo doing damage early to this Rogue defense. Now another chance for Torment. He's going to chase this down. Sizz gets it by him, but Squishy's there. Jacob hits it across the field. This Rogue defense just trying to organize this counterattack. Gimmick hitting it right back down. Going for that dunk. Doesn't get it. Now Jacob out into the middle. Torment and Squishy both jump. Torment able to settle. Now Squishy getting beaten out by Sizz, but Torment's there. Trying to hit that in the corner. Blocked by Insolence. Is now a center ball, but Gimmick wasn't there in time. And that's a familiar thing we see. Squishy going for Gimmick in the middle.
Earlier, I feel like it could have been Torment. I know Torment tends to play defense, and I don't know if it's because he feels like he has no choice or just his comfort zone, but there was an opportunity for him to stay up in their box and be a target for Squishy. But since Gimmick had to come up and take his spot, that's why it was just out of reach. It was very difficult for him to get there in time.
Oh, but that chance by Torment puts it off the backboard, and Squishy's there to clean up. Torment coming up.
This is another double commit that we see. 2 in there. Yes, Sizz and Jacob both going for it. It is the biggest problem that we see out of Rogue. We saw them do it so much in that show match. And even though they fixed it, that means you know that kind of when you have a default style that you like to play. And since Sizz and Jacob both like to react so quickly and try and make up plays for each other, if they're both ever not communicating, there's a good chance that they'll just do it together.
Yeah, you saw that double commit directly result in that goal. Torment getting a good touch, setting up Squishy for that play. Now Cloud9, at least in game 1, looking like their offense is superior. Another touch in by Torment. Squishy hitting it back. Torment gonna get this off the wall. A misread by Jacob. That's a chance. Where's anyone from Cloud9? No one there. That another very scary moment for Rogue. Could have been a goal had someone from Cloud9 been there. Good backboard read from Insol.
Look at how Rogue's being forced to clear it, though. They're clearing it into nothing. They're just giving possession right back to Cloud9 because they're struggling for boost. They're feeling under pressure. And there are some times where just the best option is to clear it to your opponents.
And you just have to relieve that pressure. And they're just fighting to stay alive, but that's not going to get you goals right now. Torment comes in. It makes it even more difficult. A 3rd goal for Cloud9.
They'll finally feel the pain of the shots, just forcing to give up possession over and over again. 2 of them had boost, but they were out of possession. They were out of position because they weren't able to try and turn around to get a counterattack. They were getting flustered and frustrated. They didn't have control in Cloud9's half.
Just Torment getting up very quickly as well. Barely there in time. But a very good center ball. Sizz just a second late. And now Jacob trying to get it back in for Insolences. That one blocked by Torment. Squishy going for that ceiling shot. Did get a piece of it. Now Torment past Insol. Gimmick is up for it. Puts a shot in it. And Gimmick, the golden striker, making another statement.
He will not. I mean, I was going to say he will not miss these shots. I guess some people will, but that is just, it's the placement. The placement of that made it so beautiful. All the way towards the right post, making that defender have to travel as far as he needed to and was unable to. Cloud9 are making a statement in game 1.
Yeah, Gimmick. But there an answer, a late answer from Sizz. Off the kickoff, they make this play happen.
I mean, Cloud9 just has had so much. They've had control pretty much the entire match.
Yeah, and both of the guys went for boost right off kickoff. Pretty much every single time you'll see somebody from Rogue going for it. I did notice looking back at Cloud9, sometimes they do tend to send 2 for boost, and that makes you a little vulnerable off kickoff.
Now, James,
pros and cons.
We were chatting a bit, talking about Jacob was a huge factor for Rogue last week. And he was seriously just doing all the plays that you expect him to, you know, hashtag Jacob things all over the place. He had the best shooting percentage right now, or at least prior to this game, at 44% shooting percentage. But if he's not able to play any offense whatsoever, it's going to be difficult to make solo plays.
Yeah, and then we'll see Sizz maybe get another goal right here, trying to pad the stats. I'm sure anyone who has Sizz on their fantasy team's happy right here. But still, Cloud9 just absolutely had a hold of this game.
What are you thinking? You thinking that was telling of the rest of the series? You think maybe Rogue felt a little rusty, a little overwhelmed in the beginning and just couldn't get it back?
Well, I think this is the Cloud9 that we expect to see. You see Torment here coming in as an MVP, 2 assists, 1 goal. He had some very, very good plays, even a very big save that he made. But Gimmick and Squishy as well, all around, they were making plays. Squishy getting that ball into Gimmick. Gimmick just hammering shots home, living up to his name as the golden striker. And then Rogue, you see Sizz here getting the only 2 goals, and one of them, you know, was a little bit of a freebie at the end. The offensive Rogue definitely struggled. Well,
the first minute, though, told a completely different story. The first minute, Rogue seemed to be keeping up with the pace of Cloud9. And it's always difficult to know because, again, the first minute, everyone's usually trying to figure out, how are they actually playing today? Am I going against good Rogue? Am I going against double commit Rogue? Or is this the Cloud9 that's probably going to destroy us and make us want to quit the game? But it just turned around. Once Cloud9 kind of took that midfield control, stole that boost, all Rogue could do was clear it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you go back and look at some of Rogue's matches, especially the Rogue versus Ghost series, when Rogue got that win over Ghost, Jacob went absolutely insane. The goals that he was hitting were unworldly. If you games 1, 2, and 4, go back and watch those goals that he scored.
Is this homework?
This is homework because they were incredible. But after seeing that, I don't think Rogue can count on Jacob having that type of performance week in and week out. That's a lot of pressure to put on somebody. Whereas Cloud9, when we saw them play, they were still just working as a team. Torment being that solid third, you either have Squishy or Gimmick waiting on the wall, waiting for that pass from Torment, and then whoever's on the wall is looking for that final player out into the middle of the field. And we always see Gimmick lurking in the middle of the field, and he's so dangerous. You saw the placement on that shot he put in.
Pretty dirty. And so how do you take this pressure off of Jacob to feel like he has to make these solo plays? What is it his teammates aren't doing? Is it they're not there for passes? Is he not looking for passes? Is Jacob going a little bit too far and trying to make the plays? It's the things that we'll probably see as we see them as through this season and they evolve. You know, it's always hard to know. Is Jacob doing it because he feels like he has to, or is Jacob doing it because he wants to?
Well, I think it's just Jacob doing Jacob things, as Wavepunk would say. Jacob, one of the most unpredictable players in the game. He really is. If you go back and watch him, you always expect him or think he's going to be doing something other than what he's going to do. Like even when you were casting the Rogue Ghost match, I think it was you who was casting that.
No, yeah.
And you were like, I swear he was going to pass that down to, Insolences.
That was like the top play last week.
Yeah, he just hits it off the backboard right into the net. So Jacob, him and Kronovia, I think, are the two most unpredictable players in NA. And I think unpredictability is definitely good for like getting upsets or getting wins or helping you get a goal out of seemingly nothing. Yeah. But on the other side, for Rogue, they're depending so much on Jacob, or at least they did last week, that if he doesn't show up and he doesn't score those goals, they're going to be in a tough spot. But again, we're talking about Cloud9. This is the team that came in and dethroned NRG.
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah. I mean, tell us about it.
I mean, I think it's tough because I know a lot of the teams that we've seen have been around for a very, very long time. And Cloud9 is one of the first teams to seriously break that mold so quickly. Literally, like, the first time we got to see them is when they just took off and actually started to destroy people. We usually see teams take a couple seasons to work up to that. Yeah. So I think mentally, we don't think about Cloud9 as one of the mainstays because they're relatively new to what we've been seeing for the last 4 seasons. But it doesn't mean that they're not incredible. And as you said, they dethroned NRG last season. They are clearly one of the best, and they really haven't fallen from that. They haven't had a serious lull.
Yeah, they are absolutely dominant. We'll see if they continue their domination in game number 2. Very one-sided game number 1. And a miss there from Jacob. Torment's going to have Gimmick on the other side of the field. He goes for it, but Insol spotted that pass and cuts it off. Now Sizz trying to drop that down to Insolences. Squishy with that tip. Jacob off into the corner. Squishy is there. He's going to follow it up. Torment in the middle waiting. And that's a chance, but oh, Squishy just goes for it.
I think this honestly has to do with the double commit. So Jacob pushed that out. Insolences was retreating from that exact channel over on the right-hand side. And instead of turning around to give Jacob a target and to help put that out of the 2-man clear, he just kept retreating. So then him and Sizz found himself in the net. Then they both double commit for it. I think it was a double commit on the play prior to that even started it all. I think Roger starting off a little messy.
And also, if you look from Insol's perspective, and here we'll see another goal potentially if Squishy can read that. He does tap it out to Torment, so another scoring chance. But also, Insolences didn't think Squishy was going to hit that, and he actually went to bump Torment in the middle. So just a miscalculation there by Rogue. This Cloud9 offense so deadly. And now Squishy getting that double tap pass into the middle. Torment. Jacob winning that 50-50. Now a chance for Sizz. That one's just going to hit right where the crossbar and post intersect.
I mean, this is what you dream for. This is, as a player, to hit it in this corner. I almost guarantee you that when Sizz saw that, he's like, oh, it's not going to go in. The moment he saw the guy, he's like, that's going to hit post.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a shot that close to the corner before. It actually hit perfectly in the corner. It's like when you're waiting for the DVD logo to hit the corner of the screen. You never see it, but we just did. Now we're all tied up in game number 2. Jacob bumping Torment out of the play, buying time for Sizz. Squishy beating Sizz out on that, but Insolences gets a good hit. Going for that second touch, a shot in. Torment with the save. Now Squishy chasing that down. But Jacob over to Insol. Insol with a shot off the crossbar. And now Jacob centering down. A little bit into no man's land. Insol and Sizz both in the area. Another decent attack by Rogue there.
That last attack was honestly as threatening as anyone else's. Instead of going for the useless touches, instead of going for the backboard. Look at this, touching it down. Sizz down to Jacob. Now Insol to chase.
Commit. And a pass in by Jacob. And a missed shot by Sizz, but yet, Rogue making some good passing decisions. We're still all tied up at one apiece. Gimmick trying to pass that over to Squishy. Now Squishy off the backboard, Gimmick's there. A shot in, Jacob with the save. So now opportunities on both sides.
That's not where you want that to go.
A scary back hit there, almost causing Cloud9 some issues, but now Squishy gonna air dribble that out. Torment up versus Sizz, both miss. A chance for Gimmick. Gimmick blocked by Insel. We have a 3-on-1 situation. Squishy, last one back. Jacob going for that ceiling shot play, almost
got
working
another
out for them. And now Sizz with the shot and Torment with the save. Jacob with the follow-up. Just unbelievable pressure coming out from Rogue, but they just can't seem to get it past this defense.
They have 100% identified their problems from the last game. They're no longer just sending it up on defense.
Jacob.
What a challenge.
And it really is true, Carpet. They're getting close, but they just cannot break this Cloud9 defense.
Look at that pass off the sidewall. They really are just avoiding that backward like a plague, and I love it. Trying to get much more creative, trying to pull the defenders out.
And another save. Just shot after shot coming in from Rogue. And now Gimmick trying to take his chance. Doesn't get the boost either, so he's going to be stuck for quite some time. Now Sizz into the middle to Jacob. Jacob missing his chance. But Rogue still just looking for those passing opportunities. Cloud9, however, now on the counterattack. Gimmick taking his time. A shot in from Gimmick. And he, with a scalpel, just cuts that goal out.
As pretty as this was all on Gimmick to try and give up control. Sizz, the way he was grounded, I don't know how much boost he had plenty, but he wasn't going to challenge it at that point. Once he realized Gimmick had control, he was already too far. It was too little too late. Just, at that point, just pray for the double jump.
Gimmick just showing again that he deserves that Golden Striker title. After being stuck on their half for most of the game, Gimmick with that play gets Cloud9 the lead. We'll see how Ghost respond. And that's a shot in from Squishy. 3-1 for Cloud9.
Counterattacks right now. Moving it from their side of the field all the way over to Rogue. The last 2 goals Cloud9 has scored are just on counterattacks. We said in the very beginning, defense was going to play key since both these teams are clearly good at putting shots on or near the net. But it's that counterattack. You can't retreat and play defense. You're gonna pay.
Absolutely, especially capitalizing on opportunities. Cloud9 not having as many, but they are making the most of them. Now Rogue a chance. Sizz coming in, and that one blocked by Gimmick. Rogue seemingly having opportunity after opportunity. And here's another one. Insel going up for the shot. A shot in, and Torment makes the save. This Cloud9 defense unbreakable.
I have no idea how he gets back in time for this. He's a dream crusher.
And now we're approaching the final 10 seconds of the game. Rogue needing to. It's a little bit out of reach for them. Torment again getting this clear. Squishy is going to put that off the sidewall to Gimmick. And 3-1, Cloud9 take game number 2.
They're now on match point. One more victory will give them a 3-0 sweep, which is what seemed to be relatively predicted over there on the desk. But I'd love to see Rogue's evolution. Jacob with no shots that game. 8 shots total, 4 for Insel, 4 for Sizz. So that means Jacob can take on different roles when he needs to. And I know he's creative, again, one of the more mechanically skilled players, so he can take the shots. But since you mentioned that last week, he was pretty much the reason they got most of their goals, I love seeing that he can adapt this quickly. It's only been a single week.
And I mean, and we've seen him historically when he played with Fireburner. He was the clutch playmaker. You know, he was always the one getting those assists. That's what we saw, was Jacob setting up Fireburner. Last week, however, he was a scorer. This time, we're seeing something different. But Cloud9, they have been so impressive with their accuracy. I mean, even Sizz, he had a very great shot this game. But the accuracy from Cloud9 and also the defense, there were so many opportunities from Rogue that they just couldn't put in.
I'd love to actually see the increase in shot accuracy from now last week to what will be this week. If Cloud9 keeps this up, they are precision strikers right now. Every single time they even get close to having an opportunity on net, it is something that is unbelievably threatening. But you see things similar on Rogue when you see Gimmick making these last-ditch effort, these incredible saves from him, which honestly from Cloud9 all around, they're able to get there just in time. and it's making it that much more difficult for Rogue to seal the deal.
Yeah, and that's so frustrating when you feel like you're getting a good shot over and over and you just can't get it by the defense. Well, we'll see if Rogue can bounce back. Game number 3, Cloud9 about to make it a sweep unless Rogue can win this one. And Sol getting that tap over into the corner. That's going to buy some time, but Squishy might be going for the ceiling shot here. We've seen him do this before. A shot in, narrowly missing, but Gimmick is there to clean up.
He actually didn't go for the Sasu one. I expected him to. He didn't go for the fall. He just figured I'll smack it up now. Once he noticed that defender was challenging him, he figured this is the best chance I'll have to get it past him, and Gimmick always there in support.
Squishy to Gimmick. That is a story that we've seen play out over and over.
The Squimmick duo.
The Squimmick. With Torment in the back. Now Gimmick setting that ball up for a good clear for Torment. Now Torment chasing this one down. And Sol hitting that one out. Jacob trying to relieve some pressure and get that pass up to Insol. Insol over to Sizz. Sizz with the shot. That's going to be low and just wide. And now a big block by Torment, bouncing out into the middle, and Gimmick is there again, 2-0.
Counter-attack after counter-attack. Look at how fast he chases this down. He doesn't even need recovery because he took that so well. Insolence is as quickly as he could. I was literally on his cam the entire time during that play. There's not a lot he could have done to get there faster. He just would have needed to take a slightly wider angle, but then at that point, you're scared to let it get past you. If you take a wide and it doesn't go for net, then he can just hit it down the wall and still go through anyways.
Again, a huge dunk by Gimmick there. Now Cloud9 continuing to keep this scoring spree going. Almost getting another one there. Torment challenging Gimmick. Almost got another goal to his name. Squishy has been deadly, and the shot in kept out by Sizz. Squishy out into the middle. Gimmick trying to time that jump. Whew. And now Sizz off the corner. Jacob's going to be there. A miss. Now a counterattack chance, but a Torment misses. A little bit of confusion there on both sides of the ball.
Sesame. Sizz just jumps out of the way for Insol to take a shot.
Now Jacob missing again. Sizz is going to go try to get a touch. Squishy just patient. Passes that into the middle, but Insol took out Torment. Torment in position, but Insol deleted it. And now another deletion. Sizz taking him out. Jacob with a chance, but Gimmick keeping it out. On both sides of the ball, Gimmick making a name for himself. Now Squishy challenging Jacob. Ball gets hit across field. Torment's going to go up for it. No, he leaves it for Insol, who drops it down to Sizz. Sizz with a shot in, and Torment easily gets that clear.
A big thing for Rogue, even though they have incredible shots per game as a team, they had about just as many shots taken on them as they took on their opponents. So I think that they're just maybe dedicate a little bit too much when it's not there and they're too slow to retreat. So a lot more of these potential clear balls or midfield balls are becoming places where their opponents can actually take shots and they're not getting challenged at the midfield.
Yeah, and when you have Squishy out there in the midfield making these shots and passes, it's going to make your life that much worse. Now in the final half of the game, a 2-goal lead for Cloud9. Cloud9 looking for that sweep. Jacob trying to hit that into the corner. Insol follows it up. Jacob trying to tap it out to Sizz. Sizz now having to kick it in reverse. Torment is going to have some space. Hits it to himself, going for the double tap. And now Jacob does get a pass out to Insol. The counterattack on. Is that shot on? It is, but Squishy there to cut it out. Now Squishy trying to dribble it past, popping out to Torment, and Torment's going to finish that one off. 3-0. Cloud9 extends their lead.
I know there's a good chance it's because they're 2 goals down, but look at how often Rogue leaves one man back on defense on the retreating side. And Cloud9's been doing a great job of demolishing when they get an opportunity. They've been taking those 2-on-1 challenges. Even the dribbles, even when it's a 1v1, they've got so much control. It seems that Rogue, they go all in for those offensive plays and they don't really think about the consequence of what can happen from that.
Oh, and then we see another shot in there, and their passing has been so on point. It's just their striking has not been what's needed. Now, the final minute and a half, 3-goal lead for Cloud9. They're surely looking like they're going to sweep this one unless we see something miraculous come out of Rogue. And Jacob That shot's going to be wide, but that touch from Gimmick allows Sizz to get a shot, and an attempt by Insel to dunk it in comes up short. Now Squishy trying to follow that hit in. Trying to make some fancy plays happen.
A little bit of salt in the wound.
And Torment out into the middle. Wasn't able to find Gimmick. Now the counterattack, Sizz out into the middle. A miss there. Jacob's going to have a chance to put it in, but Torment keeps it out, and Squishy gets the touch before Sizz can get to it.
You just can't pass that Torment defense.
Daddy too strong. Now the final 30 seconds of the match. Squishy coming in, going for that shot. A tap by Sizz. Prevents Squishy from getting that shot, but he just chips it right over, follows it up, and like that, 4-0. This game is in the bag for Cloud9.
And again, the two-man attacks from them, always overwhelming, shadowing each other at what seemed to be almost a perfect distance. They always know how the ball's going to react. They always know whatever weird situation's coming their way. They're there to follow up each other. Support.
And this is the Cloud9 that we were expecting to see. The North American champions last season in league play. The regional champions. These guys are a formidable foe, and then Rogue is finding that out firsthand. One last-ditch effort to get one on the board. They don't want to get shut out this game. Jacob with a shot in. That's going to be it. As soon as this ball touches the ground, it's over. And I mean, it's already over. Cloud9 is going to take this win.
Is it surprising to you at all, James?
I don't think so. This Cloud9 squad, so dangerous. We've only got to see them play in one match so far in league play, but here, Rogue, they were sitting at 2-0. And now, Cloud9 is the team that advances to 2-0.
Now, interesting just to talk about what Rocket League has turned into.